Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do another update for Australia for the next week to 10 days. In this system that could form for next weekend, well, it looks certain it's going to form now, but it looks like before like it makes landfall in like the western side of Australia, it looks like dry air is going to intrude it into the system, and that could hinder hinder the development before landfall. In wind shear and before landfall looks like it could be between like the moderate stage, so it looks like before it makes landfall it's going to go through a weakening process, which is obviously a good sign, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this, because if the slight like time difference in landfall changes, that could change in the time when the wind shear, it'll affect the storm. It could mean later it'll like affect it, so it could be stronger at landfall, or earlier, then it could get weaker earlier. So everything's a play, and even the track isn't certain. The GFS is being consistent with making landfall around here, but the ECM is still keeping it offshore around this area. So as I've said, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on this here. But if we go on into next week and then into next weekend, here's the system forming on Sunday here, and then as we go on into Monday night and then into Tuesday, it's really starting to develop. But if we go on even further into Tuesday night and then into Wednesday morning, you could see it's starting to really lose its shape, and it's starting to get a lot weaker, and this is due to dry air intrusion, and this is due to wind shear getting stronger, and that's blowing the cloud tops off the storm, and that's making it more lopsided. So it looks like before landfall it's going to weaken, because it's been a trend as well, and then we could be seeing another system making landfall, but that's just far too far out, so we won't be too concerned about that, but it's something to keep an eye on, as I've said in loads of videos. This is the relative humidity, so basically the darker the brown, it's more dry air. The more green it is, the more moist the atmosphere is. So if the cyclone's towards this sort of area, it can't develop, because it can't develop in like a dry atmosphere. And then if it's developing in the green, then that's obviously like a moist atmosphere, and that could allow like cyclones to develop. So like when it first develops here, it's got plenty of moist air around it, so it's got no problem at its early stage. But as you can see before landfall, the dry air is starting to go around the system, and it's starting to get in towards the center, and it's trying to choke the system out. And that's why it weakens a lot before landfall here, and then when it makes landfall, it's just completely overtaken by dry air. So as I've said, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on this. It could change, obviously, as I said. If the landfall time changes, then that means the dry air intrusion into the system could change. It could mean later or earlier, depending on when the system makes landfall, and same with the wind shear. If we look at the ECM here, I don't think we can see all of it, because it's just come out, but we'll just look at the the morning run. As you can see, it's just staying offshore, but it looks pretty intense, but it's only affecting land, so we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it. As I've said, so the tracker isn't certain, and the intensity isn't certain, but it looks more and more certain now that it looks like it's gonna make landfall, but it's gonna be weaker. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it. If we look at the 7-day change here of the sea surface temperatures here, as you can see for the western side of Australia where Veronica was, it's still colder than average, but it is starting to recover now. So that could help the system to develop, but obviously wind shear and dry air is going to be in play as well. The Gulf of Carpentaria is still colder than average on the coast, but towards the Queensland Peninsula, it's starting to warm up again, so it won't take too long for the coastline to start to warm up. But that's basically the state of the sea surface temperatures in the past 7 days. Then if we look at it at average here, the coastline of Western Australia is starting to warm up, but there's still a lot of splotches of blue below average. The Gulf of Carpentaria is still well above average, but the coastline is still below average, and that was due to Trevor and the upwelling of the warm sea surface temperatures. And then if we look at the actual temperatures here, the Gulf of Carpentaria here is still between 30 to 31 degrees, and even the coastline here of Western Australia is still in the high 20s and the 30s. So the temperatures isn't a problem, so we're just going to keep an eye on the wind shear and the dry air. Them two factors are going to depend on how strong the system will be before landfall. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss another upload. And we're just going to have to keep an eye on it, and it could develop and it could become a strong cyclone at landfall if the dry air and like wind shear isn't as strong as it's shown, but it could be like what it's shown here. Then that could mean a weaker storm at landfall. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it, guys. So yeah, guys, I hope you liked it, and I'll be here again tomorrow for another update.